back to another video. Now, every day on my Instagram, MJ Fitness Essex, I get literally 0 questions from people asking me what supplements I'm currently taking. So today I've brought along my gym bag, which I've filled with everything I take at the moment, and I thought I'd just kind of take you through what I take and why, and maybe give some few recommendations along the way. Now, before I get into that, I just want to flag 2 things that I think are worth mentioning. First of all, supplements are exactly that. They're there to make up for what you're not getting in your diet. You should always aim to get your nutrition through food primarily. If you can't, if you have a low appetite and it might be a bit more cost effective to have supplements in some instances, absolutely go for them, but always aim to get your nutrition through food. And secondly, with most supplements, you are likely to only really see a boost of about 3 to 5%, so they're not the be all and end all, they're just nice to have. That being said, I would recommend multivitamins and creatine, which are the 2 things I'm going to go through today, to absolutely anyone who's going through any form of training routine, because for the low cost of these 2 supplements, the performance boost you get is absolutely worth having them. So first up, everyone's favourite, whey protein. Now, at the moment, powder form, I'm primarily going through the cereal milk flavour from My Protein. Absolutely delicious. Generally with protein, I'll have that as a shake, but I might also put it in foods like porridges and mix it with yogurt and things like that, just to get an extra bit of protein. And also, I like to have protein bars and snacks handy for when I'm out and on the go and I might need a little bit of food to tide me over. You should be a bit careful with protein bars, is what I would say though. There are a lot of companies at the moment trying to cash in on the health kick, and they will plaster high in protein or just protein alongside their bars or snacks or any form of food. They're trying to peddle on you to try and reel in people who don't really know much about nutrition, and they can have as little as 5 grams of protein in. I think the worst example of this I've seen is in the Boost protein bars, like the Cadbury's chocolate bars. They've just plastered protein on the side of it, and the bar has 12 grams of protein but 13 grams of fat and a ton of sugar, so just keep an eye out for those and watch out on the labels. And whey protein is quite a good one. It works out for most companies you go with. I generally get mine from My Protein. You're looking at around 35p a serving, and each serving has about 25 grams of protein. So to put that into context, that's around 100 grams of chicken breast. So if you've not got a particularly big appetite, but you do need to get your protein, your calories in, that's an excellent way of doing it. It's significantly less filling than having a chicken breast, and also if you're out and about, it's a lot easier to have a protein shake than it is to have a chicken breast. Next up, we have creatine. There's a number of forms of this. I go with the creatine monohydrate. Creatine's the most researched and scientifically backed supplement on the market, and it is ridiculously cheap, coming in at around 5p a serving. So I think this pouch here I got from My Protein for £8. Its full price is £8. I've probably got it for a bit cheap because I've almost always got a discount code available, and that's 100 servings in that pouch. So you really are getting value for money there. A lot of people say you need to do a loading phase with creatine, so for the first 5 to 7 days you'll need to take 20 grams when it's normally a 5 gram dosage, and then dial it back to 5 grams after that. But that's not true. This is kind of an outdated old bodybuilding myth that kind of hasn't filtered its way out of the circle yet. It does take maybe 5 to 10 days to really start to see the benefits from using creatine, but that's absolutely normal with the supplement. That's not because you need a loading phase at all. If you take 20 grams or 5 grams throughout those first 10 days, you are going to see the exact same results. So creatine has been shown to improve physical performance, muscular strength, muscular endurance, and aid in recovery. So it's a bit of a jack of all trades really. It does occur naturally within the body, but not in the quantities you need if you're undertaking a pretty intense training routine though. It's also the only flavourless supplement I've ever tried that is actually flavourless. I often put it in with my protein shakes or my intra-workout, but you can have it on its own mixed with water. You can get flavoured versions, etc, etc. Take it any way you see fit really. I would say though, to get the most out of it, you want to aim to have it around about the same time every day. So often I'll mix it in with my pre-workout, which I'll have in the mornings before my workouts. And that leads me nicely into pre-workouts. Now, there's quite a wide range of pre-workouts on the market, and I feel this is the supplement that is most easy to get ripped off with. There's a lot of companies out there that will make a pre-workout and just pump it full of caffeine so that you feel buzzed, you feel wide, you feel really energetic when you go in and you think it's a really good product. But there is so much more to a good pre-workout than just caffeine. I'm going to go into a little bit of more detail in another video of what to look for in a good pre-workout, but for now I'm just going to take you through the selection that I've currently got at the moment. First up, you have what I call an everyday pre-workout. Now my favourite one of these at the moment is the pre-workout by MyProtein. These are the ones that generally have quite a good ingredient panel and quite a good impact, but they're not going to blow your head off. I'll generally use these if I've been up for a bit during the day already and I'm already feeling a bit naturally more energetic and actually a bit more focused and wired, but I still feel I need that little boost to get me through my training. So yeah, MyProtein's the pre-workout is my favourite everyday pre-workout at the moment, but I think for some people it might be on the stronger end. I myself have quite a high stimulant tolerance, so I'd probably put it on the more everyday side. Second up, you have your stimulant-free or pump pre-workouts. It's very good to have if you are training later in the day, so you don't really want to be taking a high amount of caffeine after like 7 or 8 p.m. because that's just going to wreck your sleep, and sleep is when you recover and make most of your progress. They're often marketed as pump products because they make up for the lack of stimulants to get you more focused by including products that will give you a pump, so to increase things that will increase your blood flow, for example. So these leave you feeling a bit more energized without that extra need for caffeine. You can also stack non-stim pump pre's with stimulant-based pre-workouts to get kind of a double whammy, which I like to do if I'm doing a really big session or if I am feeling particularly tired. My favorite pump pre-workout at the moment has to be Big Noise by Redcorn 1. They recently reformulated it. I never tried the old formula, but this one is very good. I've got the watermelon flavor at the moment, so I really do like to stack that actually with the pre-workout I've got at the moment, is strawberry and kiwi. That goes really well together. And finally, we have my favourite type of pre-workout. Big impact, high stimulant based pre-workouts. This is Liberty Juice by Alpha Lion. It's a limited edition version of their Superhuman Supreme. They've not changed the formula, it's just a different flavour and some different packaging they put on it. But this is a very impressive pre-workout. Personally, when I train, I like to feel like my skin's going to melt off my face, like I'm going to be awake for 3 days and like I'm going to be throwing the weights through the ceiling, because I need to feel that to feel alive sometimes. Also, I generally train first thing in the morning, so I'll wake up around 5 and start training around 5:30, 6, depending on how easy I find it to get out of bed on that day. So for me, I do often need that extra kick, but it's also worth noting you really need to try and find the right pre-workout for this, because like I said before, a lot of companies will just pack their pre-workouts full of stimulants and caffeine, and that's not good because then that gives you a crash. And so if I'm training at 6 o'clock in the morning and then once I've finished I've got to go and do a full day of work, it's not going to be very good if I've just got my face in the desk and I'm dribbling onto my keyboard. When you are going for a higher stim pre, on that anti-crash subject, always look out for something in it called L-theanine. I've got another high stim pre-workout with me, which I've mentioned before, Ballistic by Black Hawk Nutrition. As a new supplement, this is the one I mentioned in my last video that gives you blue lips. Yeah, L-theanine is an amino acid base, and it just prevents the crash. It helps level you out once you come down from the stimulants, so you'll have that really high kick during your workout, and you'll nicely smooth back down into feeling like a normal human being and a normal functioning member of society again. Next up, I've got some BCAAs. This is something I like to take as an intra-workout. BCAA stands for branched chain amino acids, and these are effectively the building blocks of muscle. So what they do in effect is they bind proteins to muscle tissues to help facilitate the absorption of that protein to then aid in growth and recovery. You can take these any time of day really. I like to use them intra-workout. Benefit of using these during a workout is they prevent the breakdown of muscle tissue for energy production. They're also very good to use when you're in a cut, so particularly when you get to the deeper phase of a cut. So when you're trying to drop body fat and you are on a stricter calorie deficit, your body will always prioritise trying to retain body fat over muscle mass, because in a survival situation, fat is more useful, and your body doesn't know what's going on. It doesn't know that you're not stranded in the forest with no food for 6 days. All it knows is that it's not getting what it needs, so it will look to protect itself as best it can. So by having BCAAs, you prevent that and you slow down the breakdown of your muscle tissues, and then you also more efficiently burn the fat. On the subject of intra-workouts, I've also recently been using Endure by Bulk. Now I'm going to be again doing another review of this, probably with most of these supplements, because it's something I like to talk about. I'd say that's probably the best intra-workout I've used, and I think intra-workout nutrition is something that's often overlooked. A good intra-workout will have a fast-acting carb source like cyclic dextrin or maltodextrin. It'll also have a good amino acid profile, which I've already explained the benefits of those, and it will also have electrolytes to aid in hydration, and we all know why that's important. And the benefit of having the carb source in there is, and particularly a fast digesting one, is that your body will quickly convert those carbs to muscle glycogen, which you can then use for energy in order to fuel your muscles. Now this delays the need for the body to break down any muscle tissues to produce that energy, and it also delays the onset of lactic acid buildup, so you'll be lasting longer in your workouts overall without starting to cramp up. What I really like about Endure in particular is it's really light, it's not very claggy or heavy, there's no real texture to it, it mixes perfectly, so it's just like drinking squash throughout your workout. So on top of all the benefits it gives you, it's really refreshing as well. So I've also got a number of tablet-based supplements, and if I had prepared myself a bit better, I would have bought my little pill box sorter for a good shot, but I haven't done that. First up on these, standard multivitamin, I've gone with MyProtein's Alpha Men. Now, multivitamins are really good for getting your micronutrients in, and when you're training, particularly quite intensely and doing a lot of resistance-based training, you're going to need a lot more micronutrients, and that's something that again can be quite hard to get enough of what you need in your food. I've gone with MyProtein's Alpha Men because it's specifically geared towards men who are undergoing intense training routines. They also do one for women, which my girlfriend has used in the past, and I've looked at that and that looks really strong as well. I'm also a big fan of probiotics. Now these keep you nice and regular, which is very good when you're trying to cut, because the more waste you expel, the more weight you're going to be losing, for one. There's also another benefit to them in that they contain all the digestive enzymes you need to break down all the food you're getting. So your body is able to get the most of the nutrients that you are consuming and able to use them a bit better. I've been using lately Bulk's Pro Culture. Now if I'm honest, I only got that as part of my prize winnings from them a few months ago because it's quite a pricey one. I think it's between £30 and £40. I can't remember off the top of my head what the full price is. I'll pop it up on the screen somewhere just for help. But you can get ones that are a bit cheaper. You can get them in most health food shops. I've also gone before with MyProtein's Digestimax. That's another very good one. But I do think probiotics are something that are overlooked. The benefit of them isn't fully known, it's not widely spoken about enough, but it is something I would hugely recommend. I've also been using recently ZMA, now that's zinc and magnesium. I've been using it for a few weeks now and I'm still not 100% sure on it if I'm honest. The purpose of this is to improve your levels of deep sleep with the magnesium, and the zinc helps facilitate natural testosterone production. Our bodies do most of their recovering in the deep sleep phase, which is where you get your muscles repairing and growing, and testosterone is a primary hormone involved in muscle growth. In theory, this supplement should be an excellent one for recovery. The only slight issue I'm having with it at the moment is when I take it in the evening, I find I wake up in the mornings a bit groggy and I find it really difficult to get myself up out of bed and focused. Now I have found that that does tend to correlate with when I go to bed a little bit later, so my alarm goes off the same time every day, but I can go to bed anywhere between 10 and half 12 to be fair. So I think what it may be is that the ZMA is helping me get into that deeper sleep and it's really keeping me there for a long time, but my alarm happens to be going off when I'm in a deep sleep phase of my sleep cycle, and that's when it's hardest to wake up. It could be that I need to go to bed a bit earlier, so I'm reserving my judgment until I've tried to really take into account all the variables and looked at it properly. Now finally, I'm going to talk about these two together. It's CLA and L-carnitine, which I have run out of annoyingly, need to get that ordered. So these deliver a bit of a 1-2 punch when you're looking to burn fat. So CLA, or conjugated linoleic acid, breaks down fats stored within the body to be able to put them in the bloodstream to be used as an energy source. And L-carnitine is an amino acid that effectively shuttles broken down fats within the bloodstream into the cells to be used to facilitate ATP production. So what's happening in effect when you use these two together is the CLA is providing your body with more broken down fats that are available and ready to be used as an energy source, and the L-carnitine makes your body more efficient at using these as an energy source, so it whams them all together. The body will be more efficient at burning fat for energy. I only really take these when I feel I'm starting to plateau a little bit. I find they give it just a little extra boost. It might just be a placebo, but if a placebo works, it's not a placebo. That's it for my current supplement stack while I'm on this cut. I'm going to be doing my weigh-in, progress pictures, physique update, check-in, all that faffery tomorrow. So I'll see you again when I'm ready to step on the scales. Okay. Just on all of my progress updates, my weight measurements, progress pictures, etc. And I've recorded a little physique update for you as promised. I'll pop that up on the screen now. On the left I'll have the video I did in my first video, and on the right I'll have today's, just so you've got a more direct comparison. So that's a 4-week change, and I'm just going to keep waffling over the top of that. So in terms of the progress this week, measurements have pretty much all moved in the right direction, with the exception of my waist and hips, which have gone up ever so slightly by I think something like ½ centimetre at most on both. Now I am ever so slightly bloated today, so I think that might be accounting for those figures, so I'm not going to read too much into that. The progress pictures look good. I'm seeing a little bit more fat loss, a little bit more definition around my physique, so improving every week again on that. However, my weight's gone up again by 1.5 kilos to 92 kilos now. Now I was away last weekend and I was a little bit free with what I ate and had a couple of drinks, But we were out and about walking the dogs all day, and I don't think there's much chance that I was in a calorie surplus. I wasn't tracking because I was on holiday, and who does that? But I'm very confident that I was not in enough of a calorie surplus to justify 1.5 kg weight gain. And then the rest of the week when I've been back, so since Tuesday, I've been back on plan and I've been working really hard with my training. So I don't really understand what's causing that. I think my weight might be fluctuating a bit this week. I think for the next 7 days, what I'm going to do is probably weigh myself every day and really look at what I'm eating and drinking on a granular level. So taking into account the calories, the macronutrients, my salt intake, things of that nature. And I'm going to weigh myself every day and just try and understand if there's anything that I'm having or doing that is causing fluctuations in my weight. So it could be anything from actually putting on more weight, I could be putting on more body fat, I could be building more muscle, or it could just be that I'm holding more water. And I just want to understand why that is and try and get that down, remove all the variables so I can get a better idea of what my actual body weight is. But in either case, I feel like I say this all the time, but I say it all the time for a reason, and it's because it's true. I feel like this really shows the benefit of taking more than one measurement of your progress, because again, this week, if I just looked at the scales, it would look quite bad. And I really don't feel that the scales recently have been reflecting the effort I've been putting in, but the measurements and the progress pictures aren't. And again, my overall goal is my physique. So what I look like is the most important thing. If I get to the end of the next 6 months, for example, is when I think I'll probably be where I want to be. If I get to the end of that 6 months and I look perfect, but I'm the exact same weight that I am today, I'm not going to be upset about that. That's exactly what I'm aiming for. But I think you've heard me waffle on just a little bit too much this week, so I'm going to leave it there. If you like this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to stay up to date, see what's coming with the next one. Go have another progress update for you again next week. And during the week, this time, I am finally going to get at least one of those supplement reviews I've been promising out. But until next time,
peace.